Hi guys, I'm Danielle from Eat and Mess, and today we're going to make a gluten-free vanilla cake. It's great for stacking cakes, general Madeira cake, like a lemon drizzle loaf. You can make this into anything you want to, basically. Add some fruit to it, but it's a basic sponge that you want to need. So we have got 750 grams of dairy-free butter. We use a stalk, so it's the stalk that's in the packet, not the tubs, because actually the one in the tubs contains dairy, so that's why we use the packet one. We've got 750 grams of caster sugar. We have 750 grams of gluten-free self-raising flour. We use Dove's Organic. It's the best brand out there, and it's a combination flour, so it's got a mix of different types of flours that are gluten and wheat-free. And this is a self-raising kind. They do a plain kind, they do all sorts. We've also got some xanthan gum. We're going to use 1.5 teaspoons of this, okay? And then we have got some dairy-free milk, because this is dairy-free. Again, if it doesn't need to be dairy-free, you can use regular milk. This is 60 grams. Be careful in recipes, because a lot of people say mils. When it's mils, you measure by eye on the jug. If it's grams, you measure by weight. I always use weight, it's just so much easier. So there is 60 grams in weight, okay? We have got 12 large free-range eggs. That's all in there ready. We use the ones we have in the shop. They are great, amazing golden eggs. Awesome. The kind of equipment you're going to need a stand mixer, or if you've got like a hand whisk, that is fine, but I use a stand mixer with the paddle attachment. Okay, guys? So that is all in there ready. We're going to also need some cake tins. These are 3-inch deep Fat Daddy-O's cake tins. These are the best. They are hand wash only, so please hand wash them only because they will last you longer. The 3-inch deep ones I find better. They're more multi-purpose. You can use them for deeper cakes and also shallower little sandwich cakes. Inside each of those, I have a non-stick liner. Okay, guys? So these are reusable. You can wash them in the dishwasher. They are so useful and much more cost-effective and better for the environment. So you can buy these in most hardware stores, buy them off Amazon, loads of different places, but I'll link and show you where you guys can buy them. And I literally just cut to size. I put a piece of paper down, put the tin down, cut around it, and it's cut to size and it's ready to go. You obviously can use non-stick baking parchment, but just make sure you use non-stick, not general grease-proof, because otherwise it will stick to your cakes. That'll be a nightmare. And then I've got 3 of those, because I'm going to do 3 layers. And we've also got some oil spray. This is dairy-free as well. This is generally what I just get in the bakery. You can use any sort of like sunflower oil spray. If you're not doing it dairy-free, you can put butter on it or use the dairy-free butter to grease it. Absolutely fine. Lots of different ways you can sort of change around this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a butter in the KitchenAid bowl. We're going to add our 750 grams of sugar. So in this bowl is 750 grams of our dairy-free butter. And we're going to add 750 grams of our caster sugar. Just plop that all in there and put that to one side. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull this down. And to pull the mixers down, it's got a little lock attachment on the side just to pull that down. If you pulse it, it stops everything going everywhere. So literally pulse it a tiny bit until the butter and the sugar are incorporated. So when that is now, leave it on low. And now we're going to build up its speed to a much higher speed. We want it light and fluffy. So people often get confused between light and fluffy. They kind of sometimes just mix it to basically this. That is not how you want it. This is the air in your cake. This is its fluffiness. So we need to be nice and light and fluffy. We want to look for a change in colour and a change in texture. So let's just whack this on. Keep going for about, there's no harm in going for 5 minutes with this amount. Just keep on going. Okay, so now it's ready. So you'll see that it's changing colour and consistency. Dairy-free butter doesn't ever go white, whereas normal butter will go much whiter. So this is kind of the extent it goes to with dairy-free butter. But it's much, much softer and all mixed in and nice and fluffy. So we're going to slowly add the eggs. So it's a slow principle. So I keep it in sort of a slow, medium speed. And I'm going to literally add the eggs in one by one. The first initial part of adding the eggs to the butter and sugar is really important. If you don't do this slow enough, you can completely split your mixture. Towards the end, as it's incorporated, you'll be able to add more quickly. So that first one's fine. And if you suddenly start to see it curdling, what I do is I quickly whack it up to high speed, and then it goes. So I'm going to put the other one in. And that's kind of a good speed to keep it at. Nicely incorporated. We're not splitting the mixture. It's great. Just keep going. That's all incorporating. And to be honest now, I'm just going to dump the eggs in. I'm a bit impatient like that. So I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. And just be careful here. So if you do accidentally get any shells in your egg mixture, you can obviously scoop them out with an eggshell, but the eggshells always naturally fall to the bottom of the bowl. So when you get towards the end, just double check you haven't got any eggshell left in there, because it's always good to keep an eye on that. Yeah, it's a little bit split, but it's okay. It's fine, we can rectify it. So let's put in the rest of our flour. So in here we had 750 grams of gluten-free self-raising flour. So we're also going to put in our xanthan gum. So because it's a gluten-free cake, this cake hasn't got any natural binders to help it keep itself together. So you need xanthan gum to help bind itself together. Xanthan gum you want to use sparingly, okay? So I always test it a bit at a time, and then if the recipe is a little bit too crumbly, I add a little bit more. I kind of add 1/4 teaspoon each time I add some more. So don't go overkill with xanthan gum. So it is level teaspoon. Okay, so that just goes in there. 1.5 teaspoons of xanthan gum. Okay, so that's in there. Now we're going to mix this in. Don't put the mixer on straight away, because you're going to get a poof in the face of flour. So pulse it. So we left it on low, let it incorporate. Don't start putting it on high now, because it's going to be messy. I don't like mess. So see, now it's starting to bring in that mixture to the flour. Now we can afford to put it on a slightly higher speed. I mean slightly, like don't go full on just yet, just calm your horses. And now, woo, up we go. And we're going in. Bring your spatula in just to bring any excess. So what you want to make sure is there are no flour lumps left in the mixture, okay? We don't want to overmix it. We want to make sure there's no flour lumps, because you can see at the minute I can still see flour lumps. So while we're waiting for this to mix, this vanilla cake recipe, we can make a lemon cake. So we can add some lemon zest to it. We can add some fresh raspberries to it, blueberries, all sorts. Just don't muck around with the dry ingredients, so like the flowers and things like that. Don't start adding chocolate to it, like melted chocolate, because it's to do with the fat ratios in the cake. Don't start messing around with that. Just kind of fresh fruits, zests, that kind of thing you want to add to it. So now it's looking pretty good. It's literally almost there. I have one more thing to add. So let's turn it off. We're going to add our dairy-free milk. So this is 60 grams of dairy-free milk. Pop it back onto a low speed. Again, when you're adding liquid into this, if you add liquid on a high speed, it will go back in your face. So let's bring it down to a low speed. Literally trickle it in. In it goes. If you find it's kind of sloshing around a little bit, just wait a second, stop pouring, and bring it back in. And this is the last bit. Now we're going to do its final little mix, and it's going to look really silky and smooth. Up we go. One last bit. Let's prep our tins. So I've got my non-stick spray. I've got my non-stick liners in there ready. Literally spray around the edges. All 3 tins. Okay. And that is the tins prepped. Easy, easy peasy. I would always advise getting a spray. So much easier. Right, that is ready. She is glossy. She is beautiful. Look at that. That is beautiful. So we're going to scrape off from our spatula. Don't just get it out and leave it all on the spatula. Use up this cake mix. It's great. This cake mix is great for cupcakes as well. So if you have any excess left over, just use it for cupcakes. You can always leave it in the freezer or an excess sponge. Okay, cool. So let's pop this in. So scoot that in. Let's look how silky she looks. She looks lovely. Pat these down. It's quite a loose mixture, so you don't really need a palette knife to. I'm just going to need some more in here though, because this one's not very even. So usually I'd use scales to make sure these are all even layers. But if you don't mind, you just want to ad hoc, that's absolutely fine as well. Okay, cool. So we're using our silicone spatula to get the last out of the tin. There's nothing left, no waste. Pop that to one side. Okay, cool. So these guys are all ready tins are greased, absolutely fine. That's fine, they're not even completely, absolutely fine. So these are gonna bake in the oven, 160 degrees fan, for about 45 minutes to an hour, all depending on your oven. All ovens are different. Obviously we have big commercial ovens, so that's what they bake on. Okay, so vanilla cakes are baked. They're cool enough to touch, well, for me to touch anyway, and we're gonna now knock them out. It's important to knock them out while they're still warm. We're gonna wrap them in cling film to retain their moisture. So, it's very, very simple. And if you've prepped your tins correctly, this process is really, really easy. So we've got a bit of cling film here. I'm probably gonna do it this way, because that's what I usually do. So, we're just gonna tap the tins on the side, just to release them. And literally just knock them out. And they come out just like that. See, look. No residue left in the tin. Really, really good. Cool, and these little reusable liners, we can wash those up in the dishwasher, use those again. So what you wanna do is wrap it in cling film. Don't wrap tightly, because the heat will make it vacuum together. So literally just loosely wrap it over, and then loosely wrap it over again. I'm just gonna, like that. Just gonna cut that with my old trusty knife. So it's quite loose. Pat it down, pat it around. Tuck the edges up, you don't want any sort of exposed sponge. Okay, and then literally let the warmth take the cling film to the cake, okay? This keeps it super moist. This can stay like this for 3 or 4 days, or you can freeze it as well, for up to 3 months. So this is literally perfect like that. Amazing, the vanilla cake is all done.